Journey 10. Well, football's back. A long period away from a beautiful game, although tough, has given us all a chance to really consider what we love about our national sport. And if we're totally honest with ourselves at SheffieldFootball.com, our enjoyment doesn't solely come from the 90-minute football match. It comes from the whole day, and in that we include the journey. This journey gets a full score, a 10 out of 10, just for the fact that we got into a car knowing we were heading to a football game. Such a magnificent feeling, and we look forward to all football fans experiencing that as our journey out of lockdown continues. Further excitement came from the fact that we were heading to the Millennium Stadium in Featherstone. Prior to sponsorship, this ground was known as Post Office Road and has been the home of Featherstone Rovers Rugby League Football Club since 1904. The journey itself was straightforward, and thanks to information about a road traffic accident on Doncaster Road reported to fans by Wakefield's Twitter account, we were able to reroute and thus arrived at the ground with plenty of time to spare. Welcome. 10. We walked through the car park, located beside a fun fair, but more on that later. When we reached the entrance to the ground, we received a warm welcome from the first steward, and he advised us of the multiple gates that were available to use on the day. We approached through gate 2, and our e-ticket was scanned by another club volunteer as he asked how we were. He then proceeded to ask a simple yet effective question. Have you been here before, guys? When the volunteer learned that this was our first visit to Millennium Stadium, he gave us all the information a visitor or groundhopper would ever need. Programmes, pin badges, food, drink, toilets, which stands are open, which bars are open, club shop, everything you'd want to know was answered within 10 seconds. This saved us the hassle of going on a wild goose chase, of which we've been on many, in the hunt for a programme and a pin badge. Turning right, we were greeted by two teenagers who were selling the programmes and pin badges. The two young lads were a delight. Within 2 minutes of getting to the ground, we'd had 3 positive interactions with club volunteers. And those sort of experiences make you like the club, make you really root for the club before a ball has even been kicked. Stadium 9. The Millennium Stadium may be better known as the home of Featherstone Rovers, but it proved today it's an excellent venue for non-league football too. When you consider that Wakefield are playing in a league where their opponents regularly play on school fields and AstroTurf pitches, it's quite phenomenal that they are able to play their home football at such a wonderful venue. The stadium has 3 stands and an excellent terrace behind one of the goals. Each stand's unique, and when we moved to stand behind the goal, we discovered another little quirk that we've dearly missed. Folding down your seat to be able to take your seat in the stands. Now you may think we're being ridiculous, but it's generally mad how you notice these little things when you enter a stadium for the first time in such a long time. If Wakefield reach the dizzy heights of the EFL, which is their stated aim to achieve within the next 15 years, then I see no reason why they would have to move grounds, as the home of Featherstone Rovers has everything that an EFL club requires. I've also no doubt that the terrace behind the goal would be the perfect place for your loudest and most passionate supporters to create some noise. Beer 6. As pointed out by the steward at the start of our visit, beer was available behind one of the stands through a hatch. The choice was limited, but very much true to its foundations as a rugby league venue. 1 lager, 1 bitter, and 1 stout. No nonsense, which I've almost got to admire. We also appreciate that you can get a jumbo pint at this venue, although this is going to set you back £8. At £4 a pint, it's a little too close to professional football league pricing for our liking, but the drinks did go down a treat alongside the matchday snacks. Food 8. The food hatch is not your usual hatch connected to the stand like at your average non-league venue. It's more like a food van, which only adds to the charisma of the place. Usually, we're not a group of half-time snackers at SheffieldFootball.com. There was something about being denied a chip butty at the football for so long that we just couldn't wait any longer. The portion size was brilliant, and the picture doesn't really do it justice. The range of food available at the ground was excellent. Bacon sandwiches, hot dogs, burgers, chips with gravy, chips with cheese, and a whole range of pies. There's no wonder the catering staff were rushed off their feet for most of the day. We were really pleased that the club were able to make the most of this as a revenue stream for the club on a day in which they had a bumper attendance. Match quality 8. Like many returning fixtures, Wakefield held a moment of reflection before the game to recognise a tough year we've all been through. However, it didn't quite go to plan. Remember the fun fair mentioned earlier? Well, as the referee blasted the whistle to signal the beginning of the silence, the fun fair music was blasted out uplifting pop music, and the faint screams of children riding the waltzer could be heard. The calls of "hands in the air if you want to go faster" from the fun fair speaker system made for a very surreal experience. and you couldn't help but think that you were only a rave on Shabba away from being in the Family Fun Day episode of Phoenix Nights. Despite this, the silence was immaculately observed by all those in attendance for the game. 3 steps in the non-league pyramid may presently be the difference between these two clubs, but today's Yorkshire Cup group stage match didn't suggest that was the case. After going a goal in front after just 5 minutes, Brighouse seemed the more comfortable of the teams until Wakefield burst through on a one-on-one situation. Unfortunately for Wakefield, the resulting effort missed the target, and just a minute or so later, Brighouse doubled the lead. In the second half, Wakefield were relentless in their pursuit of a goal, forcing many set pieces, but they weren't able to get the strike that really would have heated up the contest. Brighouse were professional in the way they saw the game out, and it finished 2-0. Admission 10. A great day's entertainment in superb surroundings with 691 other fans. What price do you put on that? Well, some would say it's priceless based on the year we've all been through. However, the small sum of £5 is all it costs for a ticket. A bargain! 2 goals, the familiar feeling of camaraderie with football fans, and the feel-good factor meant that we would have been happy to pay double for the pleasure of watching Wakefield at home today. This is a must-visit ground. We recommend that you keep a close eye on this club because after 2 pandemic-affected years, it's doing many things well off of the pitch. We really hope that this level of success can be replicated on the pitch too for Wakefield. We thoroughly enjoyed our day in Featherstone. We're watching Wakefield closely as the club looks to climb up the footballing pyramid. For a more detailed analysis of the matchday experience at Wakefield AFC, please visit sheffieldfootball.com and check out our full article. If you like what you've seen today, please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you soon at another non-league match.